90% of people will never see their first $100,000. Not because they lack talent, not because they were born unlucky, but because their own mind quietly sabotages them every single day. The real barrier isn't income. It isn't the economy. It's the invisible wiring in your skull that's programmed to keep you stuck. I've spent 70 years watching intelligent people self-destruct financially in the most predictable ways imaginable. And I can tell you this with absolute certainty. If you don't defeat your own psychology, you will never build capital. Your brain is not designed to make you rich. It's designed to make you comfortable, and comfort is the enemy of wealth.
The first $100,000 is a mathematical wall most people never climb. Not because they're unlucky, not because the system is rigged against them. They fail because they don't understand the psychology of their own stupidity. I've spent 70 years watching intelligent people sabotage themselves with the same predictable mental errors. And I can tell you this with certainty. Your brain is wired to keep you poor. Let me be direct. You're fighting against millions of years of evolution that programmed you for immediate gratification. Capital is freedom. Capital is leverage. It's the difference between being a machine and being a rational actor. Without that first 100,000, you're just another worker praying your health holds. One economic sneeze and you're finished. The people with capital have options. They can wait out the storm.
Here's the inversion principle I want you to burn into your brain. Instead of asking, how do I get rich? Ask, what makes people stay poor? The answer is obvious once you look. People stay poor because they can't delay gratification. They care what strangers think. They stay poor because they let their emotions override their arithmetic every single time. The math is brutally simple. Spend less than you earn. Invest the difference in productive assets. Wait, that's it. That's the whole game. But simple doesn't mean easy because you're fighting a brain that wants pleasure and status now, while your future self is the one who pays the price. Stop comparing cars. Start comparing your choices to the opportunity cost. Every dollar spent today is a dollar that can't compound. That's the rational way to win. Let me tell you about compound interest since everyone pretends to understand it, but nobody really does. Compound interest is the most powerful force in finance, but it's completely useless if you have nothing to compound. That's the tragedy. People read about compounding at 20% for 60 years and think, great, I'll do that too. Except they have $500 and 3 credit cards charging 18%. They don't have a compound interest problem. They have a capital formation problem. Here's what compound interest actually looks like in the beginning. Insulting. You save $6,000. You earn 10%. That's $600 before tax. Your car breaks down and takes $900. You feel like a fool for bothering. This is where 90% of people quit. They can't handle the psychological pain.
Here's what nobody wants to hear. Getting to that first 100,000 has almost nothing to do with intelligence. I've known brilliant people who died broke and mediocre minds who built fortunes. The difference wasn't IQ, it was rationality. It was the ability to recognize and counteract the psychological tendencies that make humans do idiotic things with money. Let me walk you through what you're really fighting. You think you're fighting low wages or bad luck or the system? Wrong. You're fighting yourself. You're fighting what I call the psychology of human misjudgment. 25 hardwired tendencies that evolution gave you to survive in tribes, not to build capital in modern markets. First tendency that's destroying you. Reward and punishment super response. You are a simple creature. You do what gets rewarded and avoid what gets punished. Sounds reasonable, except modern society rewards consumption and punishes saving. You buy a new car and everyone compliments you.